stop comparing your life. You are designed differently. You were never meant to be them. So why do we compare our life, right? If we know that, authentically we know we're different, right? There's something uniquely different about each and every one of us. But there's usually something that's happening quietly in people's life that steals this clarity, their confidence and their sense of direction. And it's not failure. It's not a lack of discipline, or definitely not a lack of intelligence. It's comparison. By the way, for those of you that don't know me, I share grounded truth. My name is Nicole Oliveena. I'm the designer of emotional architecture, and these are my authentic words. So please, if you have time, please like, subscribe, share. It allows the good to win in the world. So thank you. But back to the subject, I really honestly believe that most people don't even realize how it's deeply shaping the way that they think. And it's shaping the way that they move. And comparison is a thief of joy. It takes away from how they build their own lives. I have done this many, many times before. It shows up sometimes obvious and sometimes not so obvious. It's a shift sometimes. It can shift my mood. I don't even know that I'm comparing myself, but all of a sudden I looked at what someone else was doing, and I thought, oh, it made me feel a little down. So the moment that you look at someone else's life and you feel like yours is not enough, and it can change your frequency. So you stop seeing yourself as clearly as you did before you started to compare. You stop trusting your own timing. You feel rushed or behind. You stop honoring your own personal design, your life design, and you measure your life against something that was never even built for you. It wasn't yours. So let's make this simple so it lands for you. There's a saying, a fish looks at a bird and thinks it's failing short because it can't fly, right? A fish is like, I can't fly, look what the bird can do. And a bird looks at the fish and thinks it's limited because it can't swim. It's only in the sky. When both are extraordinary and both are fully equipped and perfectly designed for their own environment. And yet both look at the other like they're missing something. And that's what comparison does. It makes the equipped feel inequipped. It makes what's whole in you feel incomplete, or it makes you feel rushed, or why didn't I think of that? Or now I'm behind and everyone else is doing this and I should be doing this. And the most dangerous part is that feels real, but it's not. It's not real. Not the truth. It feels like you're seeing things clearly and that you're assessing yourself, but you are not. You're standing in distortion. You do not know what the person's life is behind the scenes. You don't know if they're really making a lot of money or they're just posting pictures of them sitting next to oysters. You don't know. And when you compare different designs of business or your partner or your fitness level, you're always going to lose, right? When you compare, you're going to lose. It's not very often we compare and we think, wow, I'm really doing a lot better. Sometimes we do, but I would say 9 out of 10 times it's a lose situation. And it's something that you're either doing or not doing, achieving or haven't been achieved yet. But you feel disconnected from your body, from others, and your body registers that as a form of a threat. It's not a physical threat, it's an identity threat. And your system interprets it of where I'm not where I'm supposed to be. But you are. You are exactly where you're supposed to be in this very moment. You were never meant to be anywhere else but right here, right now. Wherever you're reading this, wherever you're listening to this, this is where you were supposed to be. But we start to abandon ourselves thinking we should be somewhere else. We should be a different person. We should be a different version. We are where we're supposed to be. The longing for growth is great. It's a great start. That's where you can reshape your life and your goals. You can reshape your timelines, and you can reshape your personality, and you can reshape your values whenever you want to. And not because it's true or untrue. You can decide. It's a choice. But comparison feels safer than standing in the uncertainty of what is real in the moment, and that you have a choice to change it. So you're reacting to someone else's life, someone else's stuff. And this is how people end up losing themselves slowly. It's not in one big decision, it's in 1,000 small decisions. You're trading authenticity and creativity for approval. Well, that works for them, so I'm going to do that exact thing. Yeah, you can, and it could work for you because everyone uniquely brings something different to the table. But the true change and difference and success is creativity. And over time, you build something that maybe look right on the outside, but it feels wrong on the inside because it wasn't authentically yours. Can you recall something in your life that you could apply this to? You reach something in thought that you wanted, and then instead of feeling fulfilled, you feel empty or disconnected or confused. And then you start to question yourself again. You think something's wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You just built something that was never yours. You focused on something that was never yours. You're obsessed with another body that will never be your body. Or you're obsessed with a image or a lifestyle or a dream partner. They're not yours. And no amount of external validation or overriding or anything is gonna make that true for you. So you keep chasing it. You keep adjusting. You keep looking around. And the cycle will continue. But here's where the shift happens. The shift is not to stop noticing other people. The shift is simply to stop measuring yourself through them. You can observe them and you can like what they're doing and you can think that's clever and that's a great outfit and that's what I want to do with my business without absorbing it as your own. You can witness without weakening your own identity. You can see someone thriving and let it expand you instead of shrink you. Let it open up new ideas for you. But that requires self-trust. And most people have never built that. We build our bodies, we build our this, we build our houses. We don't build character ourselves because we've been conditioned to look outside for direction. So you don't trust your own pace or your own instincts. Or you think, well, I don't know. I don't even know how to create something. Be open to it. Be open to new thoughts. Look at what other people are doing without making it a default of comparison. Let me ground this in a real way for you. If you see someone with success, you want it. You want that for yourself. You see someone with a certain body, you're like, I need this. Like you want that. Or you see someone in a relationship and you're like, gosh, I wish I could have that. I'm ready for that. Because you think you're already missing it. But you're not asking yourself the right questions. The right question is not, do I want what they have? Or how do I get what they have? The right question is, do I want what it requires to achieve that? That's different. You can look at the outcome and think it's great, but do you want their pressure? Do you want their sacrifices? Do you want the sacrifice of that good body? Do you want to go to the gym? Do you want the pressures of that emotionally mature partner? Are you emotionally mature? Do you want the way that their life is structured? You don't even necessarily know how it's structured because every outcome has a cost. And most people are only looking at the outcome and comparing themselves to that. They're not looking at the structure that held that outcome. So they chase something they actually can't sustain. And when it doesn't work, they think they failed. You did not fail. You just tried to carry something that was not designed for you. So let's take this even a little step deeper. We all have a specific rhythm, right? We can change our rhythm, but we have a rhythm. We have a rhythm. We have a cadence to how we talk, what we do, a specific way our body processes stress. We have a rhythm in our humor. How our mind wants to relax at the end of the day, what relaxing means. We have a specific way that our energy expands and contracts. And when you ignore that and you try to operate like someone else, your system resists because it shows up as burnout. You're striving for something, but you don't know how to live it. You don't know how to, so it shows up as confusion, and it shows up as inconsistency, and it shows up as feeling stuck, even when you're doing absolutely everything right. But you're not doing what's right for you. You're doing the steps of what was right for someone else. You're doing partial work of what worked for someone else. And that's the disconnect. That is why two people that follow the exact same plan can get completely different results. That is why a whole industry of people do the exact same thing for work, but their results differ. It comes down to the person. The plan is not the foundation, the person is. And if the person is not aligned, the plan will not land. It will not work. So what do? You come back to yourself, not in surface level way, in a real way, in an honest way. Breathe on that, an honest way. You start asking yourself better questions. What actually feels true for me? Would I actually like to do that every day? What does it take behind the scenes to do that? Would that energize me? What actually aligns with how I think and how I move? What am I doing right now that is influenced by what I see instead of by what I know, or what I like to do, or what I'm passionate about? And then you can adjust, because awareness without action keeps you in the same loop. You have to be willing to let go of things that look good but feel wrong, because there's a lot of things that look good and that work for other people, but they just feel off to you. They feel wrong, and you can't beat yourself up and saying, well, it worked for this person, I don't know why it's not working for me. You have to be willing to release the timelines that were never yours. They weren't yours. You have to build something slower if it means building something real. And that is where people hesitate. That is where I faltered for so long. I wanted it. I saw other people doing things and I thought, why can't I do that? I can do that. And it was comparison, but it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable because it wasn't meant for me. Speed without alignment leads to collapse. I know you have seen it if you look around. People rise fast, but boy, do they fall fast too. And people achieve everything and they can still feel empty. I see this a lot with athletes. People look like they have it all together until it all unravels. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I thought they had it all together. No, they didn't have it all together. It was just a fragment. And it's a misalignment that's finally catching up. So instead of asking, how do I get there faster? How do I build this in a way that's sustainable for me? Because sustainability creates peace, whether it's with friendship, partnership, in your career, anything. Peace creates clarity. And clarity is what honestly keeps momentum. And this is not about like stopping your ambition, right? This is about refining it. Making sure that what you are building is actually yours. Are the thoughts actually yours? Are the outcome? Did you see that? Where did that come from when you looked at something that you wanted? Where did it come from? And seeing if your energy shifts, if your consistency shifts, if your confidence shifts, if you stop second guessing yourself or you're looking for validation, right? So it's something I know you can feel. And when you feel it, you trust it. And we all want to be creative. We all want to have the next greatest idea that's just solely ours, and we thought of it first, and we think that that's what it is meant when we live in alignment or in our design. We want to be the designer of something that no one else has done, right? And sure, we want that, but sometimes our comparison becomes performative. It's not grounded. It's not steady, and it's not clear. It just looks like something we would like. And we start to compete. But for who? For what? We're competing against our own joy. And so let me leave you with this. The fish does not need to fly to be extraordinary, and the bird does not need to swim to be valuable. And you do not need to become someone else to be enough. That's what it comes down to. You need to become more of who you already are. Who you already are, because you were you were designed uniquely, and not the version shaped by the comparison of what you want, but the version shaped by truth. Because when you build from the place of truth, you're not chasing joy. When you say things like, oh, I want money, I want freedom. Freedom to do what? What are you creating? What do you want to create? What's important to you? Are you actually acting on the things that are important to you? Or is it just important to you in a list, a mental list or a physical list? So comparison is the thief of joy, but only if you let it be that. Stop measuring, start aligning, and watch what happens when you finally move into the direction that was designed for you. It was designed for you. That direction is designed for you, and you have a purpose and a direction. It may not be clear right now. It may not be clear in a week, but stick with it. Get to a place where you can let the quiet come in, because that's where creativity sets in. You're not behind. I used to think I needed to catch up, or I was missing something that everyone else had figured out. I was wrong. I was wrong. And that's why I make these videos, and that's why I do the work that I do, because I want to break down how comparison pulls you out of alignment with your true design, and why most people are unknowingly building lives that are really not meant for them. And this isn't about think more positive, or this might not even be about trying to understand your own nervous system, which is a great thing, but looking at your identity and where your energy gets distorted, and when you measure your life against someone else's path. So if you've ever felt stuck or behind or disconnected, even when you're doing everything right? I'm doing all of these things. This is how they said to do it. This is the checklist, and it's not working for me. Again, this is my grounded truth. And I am a designer of emotional architecture, and I have all these accolades to me, but what really matters is I've walked the walk, and I want the good to win. I want the good to win.